Apple just completely destroyed its biggest competitor, Meta, and positioned itself to take over the next big industry in tech. Not a lot of people seem to be talking about this, and for good reason. The secret war between these two tech juggernauts has been going on for years, and today I want to be talking about what's been going on. So the first question you might be asking is, how is Apple and Meta competing? They seem to be doing completely different things, right? And to answer that, we need to take a look at both of the companies' revenue streams. Apple's income heavily depends on its flagship hardware models such as the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, and other wearable devices such as the Apple Watch and AirPods. Year by year, however, Apple has been trying to diversify this pool of income by increasing the number of services they offer. These include things like Apple TV, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, and so on. More and more people are becoming more attached to their phones and unwilling to upgrade their devices to the newer versions simply because they don't really offer too much that the average consumer needs. This is a smart move on Apple's part. Not many people nowadays are upgrading to the latest and greatest version of iPhone, so it makes sense that they're going to be offering more software-driven products and services. People are just more comfortable with the phone they have now, and it suits their needs pretty well, and there isn't really anything that they can offer further in a hardware direction. In fact, I'm actually filming this entire video on an iPhone, and I don't really have any plans to upgrade to the latest Dynamic Island iPhone either. With that being said, it makes sense that they're focusing more on services. Let's take a look at Meta's revenue stream. And wow, look at that. 100% of its income comes directly from ad revenue sales. Now, to give them some credit, yes, this revenue does all come from one source. However, it is slightly diversified by the number of apps that Meta offers, including Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and so on. However, the core issue still remains that it's a single source of revenue, meaning they have all their eggs in one basket. If any of these apps fail or start declining for any number of reasons, they're basically out of luck and have to start from scratch. Another thing to consider is that this is also really bad for Meta because they have to rely on other people's hardware to download the apps. Now, both of these mainly include Google and Apple, the biggest downloaders of their apps. Now, I'm sure that most of you already know that advertisers love data. They love to collect private information about you just so that they can know what kind of products they want to sell to you. And this bad news becomes even worse when, let's say, a company like Apple just decides one day, no more data for you, and turns off the taps. Insert no more soup for you name. And that's essentially what Apple did just a year ago by allowing users to choose to block Facebook and other apps on the App Store from tracking their activity. This activity data is vital for the kind of targeted advertising that makes Meta lots and lots of money. And now all the puzzle pieces start coming together. This is why Meta has been so strongly pushing towards this whole Metaverse idea and has been releasing products like the Oculus Quest 2 and the recently announced Oculus Quest Pro, and completely rebranded their company from Facebook to Meta. But that's not the full story. Yes, Apple has done a really good job at getting into the service and advertising industry and has wiped the floor with its biggest competitor. They are planning something bigger, something much, much bigger. And they've been doing this for about 20 years now. This plan will completely destroy Meta, Facebook, and Zuckerberg's vision for the Metaverse entirely. Now, you may or may not have heard that recently Apple has been secretly working on a virtual reality or augmented reality headset. Most people think it's going to be a combination of the two, but it's still yet to be determined. This has been widely reported on and confirmed by Apple insiders who've leaked this information. And this mystery device is rumored to be released sometime around 2023 or 2024. Now, Apple is well known for bursting into established markets and completely destroying the competition with better user functionality and better hardware quality. It almost seems like they have a step-by-step guide for how to do this. We've seen them do it with the iPhone, where they completely took over the high-end smartphone industry and set trends for decades to come. We've seen them do it with the iPad, the Apple Watch, and most recently, AirPods and AirPod Maxes. They've gotten really, really good at analyzing what their competition is doing and just simply doing it better and improving the overall user experience. Now, if you're a Meta executive or even Mark Zuckerberg yourself, hi Mark, you should be terrified. Meta is trying desperately to dig itself out of a hole that Apple placed them in by using the Metaverse as an escape mechanism. And as they are doing this, Apple is gearing up to release a product that will completely destroy and dominate the market that Meta is so desperately trying to claw its way into. As I was writing the script, I couldn't help but be amazed by the genuine genius and meticulously crafted moves that have been played by Apple. Firstly, they made Facebook panic by haphazardly rebranding themselves as a Metaverse company. Meta, knowing Apple Apple is going to release a mixed reality headset is desperately trying to gain a share in the hardware market by launching the Meta Quest 2 and the Meta Quest Pro. And just to be clear, Meta is losing billions of dollars by rebranding itself and subsidizing its headsets, meaning that for every Oculus Quest headset that is sold, they are losing money on it. They're doing this with the hopes of gaining as much market share as possible while driving out the competition with their competitive pricing. However, this is clearly unsustainable. This is made very clear by the $100 price hike that the Oculus Quest 2 saw in September of this year, not to mention the $15 billion that Facebook has spent rebranding itself as a Metaverse company. All these factors combined scare the living daylight out of any investors who are holding Meta stock. And this is clearly evident by the 73% drop in Meta stock since January 3rd of 2022. What do you guys think about this battle between Meta and Apple? Who do you think will end up on top as they both try to fight over the virtual and mixed reality headset space? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.